So let's talk about toxic relationship. The other day I put out a short about 3 red flags to know if you're in a toxic relationship. So let's talk further about that. What if those 3 red flags that you are in a toxic relationship? And if you haven't seen that short, I encourage you to watch it. So what if you are in a toxic relationship? What do you do next? So let's think about this. Because even though if a person been in a toxic relationship, and that can mean so many things, toxic relationship, how severe this relationship is, how toxic it is. Based on that, it determines what should be your action plan. So let's say that it is a toxic relationship. Can this relationship be repaired? Can it be worked on? And for that answer, it will take two people, not just you, working on this relationship being repaired. So if the relationship is toxic, can it be repaired? And are we both willing in to put in the work to repair this relationship? Now, sometimes people tell people, why do people remain in toxic relationships so long? They can't see why this particular person been in a relationship so long. There's a lot of reason why people stay in toxic relationship. Sometimes it can deal with financial reasons. It can also be um, um, this is all they know. Also can be, I didn't realize I was in a toxic relationship because this is what I grown up with, and so this is all I seen in my life. Or could be questions about where would I stay, how would I survive, how am I even make it, or is there anybody else gonna love me like this person loved me, or I don't want to be alone. And so there can be a multiple reasons. Well, do I stay in this relationship because the kids are young? Um, there could be a number of reasons why people stay in a toxic relationship. And I just don't want you to just think about toxic relationship and just think about that a woman is staying in a toxic relationship. I have seen in therapy where men have been in toxic relationship. So toxic relationship, whether that, why are you still staying there? Okay. And based on, first of all, how severe is this toxic relationship is. Because sometimes if you're not careful and you do want to get out of this relationship that's toxic, it can be very harmful. So you want to make sure if that is one of severe toxic relationship that you have the plans, you have the resources to help you get out of that situation safely. Okay. So if you are finding yourself in that situation that you know that is unhealthy to you, does not benefit in you, then the question is, let's work on you. Let's see, why are we in this situation? It's like, well, I want to get out. Yes, we do want to get out, but we don't want to just hop out and we join back to another topic, toxic relationship. So that does happen. People hop out of one toxic relationship, didn't learn from the last reason, and before they know, they are connected to someone else that's toxic. And then we talk about in therapy, I said, what are the common things? Well, everybody I've been with been toxic. Okay. So we need to deal with that. Why if there is a common thing that everyone you connected with is toxic, what is about yourself that you need to work on? And even let's just say there is nothing, you just got connected with the wrong person. Still working on yourself because the things you encounter in that relationship had done some numbers to you. It had, did some things to you, emotional, mentally, maybe physically. And so how you get out of that and really heal from a toxic relationship. So great, work on yourself. I would suggest you seek out resources. There are a lot of resources out there for people that's in a toxic relationship on how to safely navigate through that. I would also encourage you to seek out therapy, okay? And really look at yourself and try to talk about it, not just with family and friends, but actually with a professional, okay? Felicia, I realized that this person I'm in is a toxic person. Then it might be also too, might have to look at myself. Is there anything within myself that's toxic? And sometimes that is hard to admit that maybe you as yourself have toxic traits about you. Or as growing up, that's all you saw. And so this is normal. Sometimes people don't even realize they in a toxic environment because this is what they saw all the time. Until they find out otherwise, this is not the way it's supposed to be. There should be peace. There should be love. Yes, you're gonna have ups and downs in relationship, but it shouldn't be toxic. Okay. So digging down to finding those roots, and also dealing with if there is any insecurities, if there's any fears, you know, using therapy to expose those things. Like I said, people remain in relationships because of various reasons. It could be, yes, I am in a toxic relationship. I know it's not good, but I want to have a two-parent home for my family, so I remain. I don't want divorce to be a part of my family, so I remain. Or it could be, I need their income to survive. What would I do? Or I don't want to be alone. I'm 40 or 50 or 60 years or 70 years old. I don't want to be alone. So I remain in this. And you have to be very careful about toxic because it can be very dangerous in so many ways. Okay. And so I would strongly encourage you to start the process of work on individual counseling for yourself and use that to work on things about yourself, to look at yourself about how you can improve. And if there is a course of action that you do need to leave this relationship, that you use proper techniques, problem solving, resources, build yourself up, self esteem activities, self care to really build yourself up and have the coping skills to do it healthy and safe and to be okay with your decision. And if your decision is to remain, then also to be okay with that decision, to remain as long as you and that person is working together. Because let me just be honest, sometimes people, they don't realize they're toxic. Sometimes people do know that. And they need some help. And so if you are one of those persons, I'm gonna work through this. I want to make sure that it takes two to make this to work. It cannot be one-sided. You will not be successful. You will only go as far as you need to go. But it will take both individual put in the work to make it better. And I asked this question on my shorts. If this situation does not change, this toxic relationship, can you be okay? And if your answer is no, then you need to work on a plan to leave correctly and safely and to be healed and whole within yourself. So you won't leave a situation and get back in another toxic relationship. And those things, it takes time to work through in counseling. More than one session to look at the common things, to find the coping skills, to find the strength, to be strong in your decision, to be sure in your decision. Because, like I said, many times people say, I don't see why they won't just leave. It is so many reasons why people just don't leave. And it takes time to work through that with a person. But working with a counselor, a therapist, a professional, seeking out those resources they have out there, you can get out. You can have healthy relationships. And it really starts with yourself. You really got to do this for yourself. And you can do this. with the resources that's available. And you say, well, what if there's not much resources in my area? I really encourage you to seek out someone professional to talk to get the help you need. We do not have to settle. You do not have to settle for the toxic in your life. You deserve more, and you should have more. Well, I'm going to say might not be easy going through that process. You might have some up and downs and challenges. But at the end of the day, you need to be okay with your decision and you need to be at peace with your decision. Let's do pros and cons. That's something we do in therapy. What is the pros of staying in this relationship? And I genuinely have people list me the pros. And they say, well, Felicia, it is toxic. Okay, but what is your genuine pros? What is the good part why you staying in this relationship? List those down. Let's talk about it. Now, what is the cons of you remaining in this toxic relationship? If that con list is longer than the pros, the decision been made. Now it's time for action. Okay? And so sometimes, even though people they know the decision to be made, sometimes it takes people a little bit longer. And so working with someone to help you through that process, if you is a person that is going to take a little bit longer. And look, there's no age on this. No age. There have been people that have been in relationship 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And they made a decision to leave this toxic relationship. So, recognize your warning signs, the flags in this relationship. Seek out therapy. Seek out the additional resources available out there. Do the necessary things to work on yourself. And let's get rid of the toxic relationships in our lives. Yes, you might be alone for a period of time, but don't look at us alone as something negative. Many times we do need that time for ourselves, for healing. Because if we've been exposed to toxic all the time, let's just say our body being exposed to toxic all the time, there needs a time to, as kind of said, detox or get clean of it and really work on ourselves. And that time is needed. So, this is Talks with a Therapist. I'm your host, Felicia Cameron, a licensed clinical social worker for the great hospitality state of Mississippi. And I will see you next time. I want to leave you with this. Do life, but don't let life do you. You can do this. You got to do this for yourself. Thank you.